creative. And here's the funny thing: after the creative tour, I went with probably about, I think we had like 15 shows, but then at least like 5 or 6 of them canceled. Right?
The game.
So that's the game.
Fucking
right?
game.
That's the game.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
I
real.
love to hear that because
No.
it happens now.
It still happens. The game ain't never gonna change.
I had a
It's
fucking
always-
storm cancel my shit. It's a whole
dude.
hurricane.
And you be mad because every time a show cancels, you're like, all right, but okay,
I
still,
can maneuver.
I can still, you know what? Okay, that's okay. I still have money for rent.
I ain't even need that money, really.
I have the rent money, and I could pay Cablevision, and I can pay
split
like my
this up.
phone bill. We can split the Verizon, and I still will wind up like $400 cash for me.
Yeah.
So I could buy like a nice pair, maybe some Jordans and a nice blazer or whatever.
Yep.
And then you lose one show, you're like, all right, I don't need that blazer anymore. I don't need that blazer, but I'm still getting my new Timbs. I'm getting like my new Jordans, and you lose another show. Like, all right, who needs all that footwear anyway?
I got some thick socks.
Right. So then by the end of the tour, I still came home with probably a little more. I probably came home with because you don't factor in. This is also what the teaching, what you learned going on that first tour. What I learned on that first tour was, you are getting paid this money, but you're not factoring in expenses.
Yeah.
And gas and you gotta eat.
Yeah.
And so all of that. And so if you thought you were coming home with $1,500, you might only come home with, even after losing those shows, you might only come home with, $1,150.
Yeah.
Right? And so now you're like, as you mature in comedy, you realize, okay, I need to make at least this much money. They gotta cover my travel.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta give me something for travel, right?
Yeah.
They gotta give me something. They gotta give me a hotel, because that's another thing for like new jacks out there. They'll try to get you with that, like, hey, we're flying you to St. Thomas. So it's like a vacation. Like, man, how much money am I getting paid? Because we're gonna put you up. You're supposed to put me up.
Yeah.
What you think? I was gonna just stay at the airport?
Yeah.
You supposed to.
You gotta remember to ask. I had to learn to ask
all of
for
that.
certain shit.
All of that. You gotta because that whole closed mouth don't get fed. It really doesn't. People are going to take advantage of you as much as they can. And so as you mature in this entertainment realm, you learn from experience. You're gonna get burnt.
Yeah.
We're all gonna get burnt because there's
yes.
always someone that's gonna try to get you. Watch the movie Top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5, which I was in.
The Cedric the Entertainer scene?
The Cedric the Entertainer
Yep.
scene, the whole situation of Chris Rock's character going, and he's on tour with Bruce. They're doing dates in Houston. That whole section, anyone that wants to be an entertainer, I don't care if you on the Main Street circuit or the black circuit, but especially if you're on the black circuit, watch that scene. That scene will let you know everything you need to know about, or those scenes as part of that flashback, let you know everything you need to know about, what you're going to experience.
Sketchy promoter.
Janky promoter.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said, I quit my day job when I realized, even if I lose a couple of shows each week or each month, I still think I've saved up enough money that I'm good for a couple of months. You just gotta take a leap of faith. Like whenever you finally do, every comic that you've had come on here has a different moment. I remember Mike Britt said that Steve Harvey told him, you can't serve two masters.
Oh, that's fire.
You can't serve two masters. The more energy you have to focus on your craft and your career and your vocation, that's more energy that if you're not focused and you also have one leg in the corporate world, that's a distraction.
It's just taken from this.
It's a distraction.
It is.
That's why when you watch like a show like Shark Tank, and you'll see like Barbara Corcoran, and she's like, "Are you working a 9 to 5? Do you still have your job?" And people like, "No, I quit." They appreciate that because they're like,
You committed.
You committed, and you like, yo, this has to work.
Yeah.